everyone, welcome to another installment of Fantasy Failures. As always, I'm your host, Nick Cruikshank, joined here with
Cam Backstrom.
And Justin Gillerman.
All right, so let's take a look at what happened in Week 8 in the NFL season. It's trade deadline.
Trade deadline.
So, most important trade out of all of these, and I don't care what you guys say, Seahawks got a lineman. We have somewhat of a lineman now. We almost got rid of Jeremy Lane because he sucks so bad. He failed.
He sucks so bad, yeah. He failed his physical.
He failed his physical. I mean, granted, he got hurt. He was benched, played.
I mean, if you bench someone, you're starting at that point like traffic cones. That's how bad.
But Jeremy Lane also, in his defense, he got really hurt in their Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Like, he tore his ACL and broke his arm on the same play. Seattle looks great right now. We all can't deny that. Russell Wilson went nuts. Deshaun Watson, my boy, great game.
They were the first quarterback duo in NFL history to have 450 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 50 rushing yards in the same game, which is insane.
Talk about a defensive struggle right now.
Yeah, I know. What a shootout.
And see, the worst part was like, I was reading the stat line. Russell Wilson by himself accounted for 476 yards out of 479 yards of offense. The running backs, for the exception, anybody touching the ball running it, for the exception of Wilson, averaged 2.11 inches per carry.
That is awful.
Yeah, that's just how bad.
That is awful. Well,
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. That is the most important trade. The Niners got a quarterback, the Niners traded a second-round pick. The question is, when is he going to start? Is it going to be this year or is
He's going to start.
He's going to start this year. I think I was looking at the schedule.
They don't have any other quarterbacks.
No, they don't. They're
CJ Beathard. And
the rookie.
Do you think the Niners really want to go with CJ Beathard as their starting?
No,
I mean they're 0-8 as of right now, so it's just kind of like.
But they're not tanking anymore because they have their quarterback.
At this point, you should tank the season, but you might as well throw Jimmy in it and at least get him to learn the offense.
I disagree that they tank. They're a relatively new stadium. They need to show their fans that they're worth watching.
Their fans don't want to go
because they have no product. Now that they have Jimmy G, they have a product.
But they hate the owner too.
That doesn't. Okay, you can hate the owner all you want if you put a good team on the team. Fans will show
They're
up.
0-8 right now. Okay, Garoppolo's not starting. They're gonna lose Week 9. They're gonna be 0-9.
That's not what I'm saying.
They're gonna go on a 7-game tear.
That's not exactly what I'm saying at all. They're not making the playoffs, but that's not the point I'm making.
But at this point, what's the point? Lose.
No, they need to set a precedence. They don't want to put their team, okay, we just lost 0-16 again. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. They're not looking for a quarterback. Now they're showing their fans, okay, if this is a team that we can get behind, they're trying to change the direction. They have John Lynch. They have a new GM that they hired this year, all right?
Fair enough.
I like it.
Just because
Very
they fought,
dude, I had no idea you're this much of a Niner fan.
No, it's just, I don't like the idea of tanking.
No,
I don't either.
It's bad for any league. It's the NBA or the NFL.
Just because they're 0-8 doesn't mean they're tanking. They got a quarterback now. They have to show their fans something.
They're probably going to start him against Seattle in a couple weeks. They'll give him a few weeks to learn the offense. Okay, they'll eat him alive. I do think.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Jimmy Garoppolo is such a good quarterback.
He's sitting behind Brady. This is your mindset.
He is such a good quarterback.
So is Castle.
Hey, dude, I would take the Ravens could take Jimmy Garoppolo, and I guarantee you we could win like our last.
Well, Flacco's no better than the chicken nuggets he likes to eat.
Here's the mindset that a lot of people have, and I think this is what you have. If the team is not tanking, then they're trying to make the playoffs.
But I get what you're saying.
I think this late in the season, that's their whole point.
You should be competitive. The Warriors are like 3-4, and the Cavs are 3-4. They look bad.
So are the Lakers.
But look at the Thunder. When Kevin Durant left, they signed Westbrook to a huge contract. Okay, they signed Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Are they going to beat the Warriors? No. But they want to remain competitive, and I understand that. But that's an 82-game season. In a 16-game season like the NFL, it gets to a point where...
I think this is where the NFL is different than other sports because it's so
I would agree to that.
You have to show a precedence going into the next season.
Right.
We're here to compete. And especially with the new regime that the 49ers have, they can't just go, you know what, we traded for a quarterback, but we're still going to try.
So you're going to start Garoppolo as a quarterback of fantasy in 2 weeks?
No, but that's not... I'm saying when you look at the other weapons that they have on that team, when you look about the Carlos Hyde...
Yeah, now they have a legitimate offense.
No, I agree.
And now you don't discount all the weapons that they have on that team.
And I know, and if I was the 49ers, I would have started Garoppolo this week.
And they still have a decent defense that can put up
No,
points.
I know. You need to remain competitive. I get that. But as far as... It's an issue of if they go 4-12 this season, is it really going to ruin them? No.
But it still shows they went 4-4 in their last 8 games.
Okay, and I'm okay with that. I thought you had the attitude of, oh, they're going to rattle off 8 wins and win into the wild.
I would love for them to go 8-8. Like,
I really would. 8-8, then that's just genius.
That'd be legendary. Like I said, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is obviously more than enough to win you multiple
I
games.
just-
They can go 4-4 in their last 8
Yes,
games.
they could. Yes, they could.
Poor Kirk Cousins is going to waste his life away. in
Yep,
Washington.
he should
Yeah, now
have.
it's one
He
less
should have.
thing.
Yeah, should have taken the
My
contract.
favorite trade though was the Jay Jai trade.
Okay.
I will agree.
Adam Gase, Jay Jai, not on the same page in Miami.
No, did you hear there's locker room problems?
Lack of chemistry in the locker room.
Locker room problems.
Just that offensive line coach. Anyways, Jay Jai goes to the Eagles. That's a credible run game now. I mean, people talking about he's going to split carries with LeGarrette Blount.
He's
LeGarrette
not.
Blount's
He's
out.
not. He's not. He
No,
is
Wendell
now the right back one.
It's Wendell Smallwood, Donnell Pumphrey, and then now Jay Jai.
Yes, I agree.
LeGarrette Blount might get cut.
I can see that.
LeGarrette
I can
Blount
see
was
that.
going to get cut at the preseason.
God, I hope so. I'll just pick him up, Seattle. You ain't got,
Now that
anything else
Exactly, yeah.
going on at this point.
Yeah. Such a
That's my-
homer pick.
that's
Such a
my
homer pick. No, that is
All
a
right.
good pick.
Also, Kelvin Benjamin is now a Bill.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it gives Tyrod Taylor a giant weapon, I think, which is huge.
It does, and it increases McCaffrey's value for me. So I'm fully on side of that.
He hasn't been consistent. since
Okay,
his,
but
first rookie.
Also,
Yeah.
but the Panthers, they haven't been consistent. They are the biggest up and down.
Up and down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Newton asked for a trade in a year or two, just because he tells
no,
me
he's not. He's not
I
leaving
think
the
he might
Panthers.
retire.
Really?
Yeah. So I think he might retire. He's stubborn enough that things don't go his way. He
No.
doesn't try to attack it.
He'll
He just-
find
Well,
a
no,
way.
but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying about
yeah.
about the trades. He's the type of guy like, oh, I don't want to fix this problem. I'd rather leave
And
and go
this is
somewhere
the
else.
thing. Like he goes, this is going to be my breakout year. Coming back, bouncing back.
No,
Coming
dude,
out of
he
press
walked out of
conferences.
a press conference
Exactly.
the other day. Somebody asked a
And I-
question.
He's
he threw up
a
his hand.
diva.
And also, I think
I don't think he needs football.
I think
No,
Ron
I
Rivera
agree.
also needs to be fired too.
Yeah.
Also, that's something.
Riverboat Ron,
I think
he's
they're-
took a lot of.
Riverboat Ron. I love that.
Riverboat
Yeah.
Ron is down a huge gambling debt.
There needs to be a trade. Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of trades this week in the NFL. It's pretty interesting. I mean, this is the first year a trade deadline
Yeah.
actually was
A
entertaining.
lot of
Yeah,
people didn't
lot.
even know the NFL could trade.
But yes, that is it. We now move on to your
Power rankings. It's not a good week. Not a good week.
So power rankings, yes, we are there. Let's start off number 10.
Brutal week. Number 10, Kyle Storms. This poor guy right here is 2-6. No change. Is not looking good. He is eliminated. He has an abysmal point score for the entire season. He has less.
That's the mathematically eliminated bill going on for Kyle.
Yeah, it's not good. The Ezekiel Elliott trade, even though he did get suspended again, or on again, off again.
Wait, he just got unsuspended. Now he's suspended.
Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you. It's not good for Kyle.
You
so
just kind of wake up and check, hey, is he suspended today? Is he
It's
not?
kind of like, yeah.
filing an injunction. So yeah, hashtag tattoo watch.
Yeah.
For Mr. K Storms there.
Number 9.
Number 9, Jeff Mira. He lost again. This poor guy. He's 2-6. He's got Le'Veon Bell on a bye week, and he's also eliminated from the playoffs as well. Really sad. So another Bell, ding ding ding, going off for him.
Alrighty, number 8.
Number 8, Alfredo, 3-5. I just want to point out a note. I'm so mad Alfredo beat me last week. He got so lucky because he put up only 85 points this week, and he put up 130 last week, which was enough to beat me. His team's just not looking good. Dak put up 8 points, and Julio Jones looks like a complete
Dak
waste.
has regressed.
I was telling people since the
No.
beginning, I don't think the Cowboys are good.
I told him-
I don't think
I
They
they're
had
called
a
it
really good year
last
last year.
Okay, they had a really good last year. They ran off the whole Romo's down, let's rally around our
But
quarterback.
that was last year.
That was
Romo's
last year.
out. Dez.
Now they're going to be without Ezekiel Elliott for 6 weeks. These are like, I wish they would have had it in the first 6 weeks because.
Yeah, they should have.
Speaking specifically, not fantasy, but like for football terms, these next 6 weeks in the NFC
Are the most
gonna
critical
be
thing.
So important
Yeah.
because there's so many teams
No,
pulling away.
we're halfway through the season
Yeah.
now. This
Yeah,
is.
well, I mean, and that division, especially the Eagles got it. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't
Eagles
tell
are
me.
7-1.
Yes.
Vikings are 6-2. The Rams are 5-2. The Seahawks are 5-2. They're looking for a wild card, but there's so many teams like.
Right now, the Seahawks actually have a tiebreaker over this. So technically,
Yeah, so-
as of right now, it is the Rams.
A lot of interesting
Swimming.
stuff going on.
All right, and it's going to all affect our fantasy, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Number 7.
Number 7, Nick Vieira. He was previously 4. I think it's really funny because he actually won, but somehow moved down because he has the weakest 4-4 team out of all of us by far.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have Deshaun Watson, his team is just toast. But he does, right? And Watson puts up 30 points every single game apparently. But besides that, Jerick McKinnon, this team is just injury plagued. It's not good
I like
at
what
all.
you wrote down here.
All right, number 6, Big Baller Brand.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Go
Chaz
Lakers.
Boulay.
Go Lakers. Chaz, as I wrote here, had the game of his life. He put up 149 points on me. He had 80 points combined between Russell Wilson and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, Wilson's not going to do that every
So
game.
I had no chance. Hopkins, of course. I mean, that was a shootout game. Also, it was a great game
it
to
was.
watch.
And I mean, next week, the Seahawks play, I guess this week technically, Seahawks play the Redskins. which I don't even know if they have a team at this point.
Who knows
Like,
what's gonna happen
half
there.
of them are hurt.
He had a good week.
There's not enough good players to justify
He
it.
had a good week.
When Wilson starts getting back into the division games too, those NFC West games are more.
Yeah, they still have
Exactly.
to play the Cardinals twice, the Rams once, and the 49ers, whatever that dumpster fire team
That-
is.
that-
Very forgettable.
So that's
team.
yeah, he has 4 more divisional games, and you're right. Those are the ones that end 13-6.
Well, hot take, Jimmy G throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Seattle Seahawks. I can't wait for that to happen.
Okay, number 5. Let's hear about your abysmal team.
Oh, yeah, so I'm 4-4. I lost 3 straight.
How are you still ranked 5?
Because I'm fine. I'm literally fine. I put up 130. and I still
Tiebreaker. Do you
lost.
think he's fine? That's what
Yes, I
don't know.
am. My only concern is that AJ Green, he's had like one really good game, and then every other game's been like average. And they played Jacksonville this week, which is not good, and I'm very concerned about that. However, everything else, I do have Carson Wentz, and he's the front runner to be MVP.
Carson Wentz playing very well.
So I'm not too worried at all.
All right, number 4.
Number 4. God, this is the worst. This is painful. Zarmando. He was previously 5. He's now won 3 straight. We talked about Ezekiel Elliott. Melvin Gordon had a great game. But he started Jack Doyle, who put up 30 points, had one of the best games of his career. Armando's team is solid.
Wait, Ezekiel Elliott not suspended again.
Oh.
Wait, suspended again.
There you go. Thank you.
That's happened 3 times in the past 15
Thank you for the
years.
clarification.
I'm sure there's gonna be more throughout this show too.
Yes.
Number 3.
Yeah, these guys are terrible. Like, I don't know what happened here.
I
Like,
can't
this
believe
team is, you moved them up 5 spots, which isn't...
because they did win, and they do have.
Well, he went with my thing that if you have a better record, you
Only when it doesn't affect him directly.
True.
Everybody relax. Yes, they are 5-3. David and Tim, they beat a certain individual, which I will get to in a second. Lamar Miller had a great game. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
But Brady's on bye this week,
And so is Antonio Brown.
and Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no, this week is
The bye week blues.
not a good week.
Not good for him. So David and Tim, we'll see what happens, but I see them losing this week.
Number 2, Nick Cruikshank, me. You have here
Didn't say my intro for you.
2 straight wins. I've won
Isn't that 4?
4 straight.
Okay, whatever.
Thank you.
All right, whatever. Well, you know what? Shady had a phenomenal game, 150
Yes.
yards and 2 touchdowns, I believe.
Yes. I mean, I got some quarterback issues.
You do have some quarterbacks. You have Jameis Crablegs Winston,
Yeah.
and you
I have
have
Josh McCown on the bench.
Josh McCown
but it's
on the
also
bench.
so, like Christian McCaffrey's actually kind of figured out a place in their offense.
Yeah.
I mean, and now without Kelvin Benjamin, because they use McCaffrey as a slot receiver, basically, like he's on pace right now to break the rookie reception record. That's huge.
That's money.
So I feel pretty good. All right, number 1.
Number 1 is Jago, but there's a caveat here. He's lost 2 straight now. 6-2. 2 straight L's. I love it.
In 2 weeks, you and I
in
go
2
head
weeks.
to head.
He is number 1 though because he has almost 1,000 points scored, which is 40 points higher than second place, which is I think is very impressive. Usually it's very close. But his bye week blues are officially done. Todd Gurley is coming back off bye. My only note here is that Kareem Hunt has not found the end zone since week 3.
Kareem Hunt is gonna surprise
He
you.
probably will have like 200 yards because I just said that.
No,
But
he will.
Nonetheless,
Chiefs-
your team
Chiefs
is fine.
faltered for 2 games.
He's ROTY.
Come back
too.
against the Broncos D. They're
And-
kind of getting back to.
I think they're going to get back to their normal selves. Alex Smith is becoming a game manager once again. I still think that game 1 was rather a fluke game.
No,
but that's just me.
yeah, the week 1 game.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a
Against the Patriots.
That was a come out punch in the mouth. Patriots are due. All right, so those are the power rankings. Now, is your season falling apart like Cam's career? Let's go to the waiver wire. They'll help you fix it.
So garbage.
All right, so my waiver wire pick is, even though we've been trashing Captain Kirk, Vernon Davis. All right,
It's a solid pick.
Jordan Reed suffering another hamstring injury.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't a concussion.
Davis is going to get the start. In week 8, he was 14 for 279 yards with a touchdown. I know you don't buy the lob as great. However, they do play Seattle, so he won't get those numbers. Maybe 50 and 1 touchdown, maybe. Earl Thomas is looking like he's going to be out for 2 weeks. Vernon Davis, I think if you need a tight end, he should be there, and he's a nice stopgap for a while.
I feel it. Well, I'm also going to go on the tight end train here with Jack Doyle. He's owned in 38% of leagues. This guy had a monster day last week. He had 12 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. He's the only Colt on this team of the season that has multiple receiving touchdowns, and his 12 catches are the most since Reggie Wayne in 2012. So there's some history for you. So go get this guy. As you mentioned, a lot of important tight ends are on buys this week, including Gronk. If you need to fill in, Jack Doyle, Vernon Davis. Those are your guys.
Speaking of buys, I'm going to go with Jeremy Maclin.
There's a name.
There we go.
There's a name I haven't
There
heard
we
in
go.
years.
The Ravens.
He's owning 60% of leagues, yes, but this is more of a pick where if you have him, start to play him now. They're facing the Titans. He scored a touchdown last week. Flacco, we don't know what he's going to do.
Careful.
We don't know what he's
He's
going to
hurt.
do, but the Titans secondary looks vulnerable
Very
at
suspicious.
times.
Very suspicious.
So if you need a spot start for a receiver, not a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, maybe a flex guy, Jerry Maclin's your guy. Maybe get a four reception kind of game, 60 yards, maybe find the end zone. He still give you points there for a little bit.
Agreed. All right, those are all pretty good picks. That is all for segment 1. As always, coming up after the break, we will have David Tompkins' pick of the week. Dud versus Dud, Magic versus Tragic. See you. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Welcome to another episode of Ultimate Play, the show where online gaming is essentially reality. I'm your host, Justin Gillerman, and we're here to tell you everything you're going to need to know about your favorite online game modes to your favorite sports games from Madden, MLB The Show, FIFA, and 2K. We're here to give you tips, tricks, and everything in between to help you build your best team. We're going live on Uba TV at 2 p.m. Hope to see you there.
So, Magic or Tragic. First up on the docket is Dak Prescott, followed by Matt Ryan, then Josh McCown, and then Captain Kirk Abysmal Cousins.
There you go.
So, let's kick it off. Dak Prescott. I'm going to say Tragic. No Zeke. Morris is the number 1 running back. Okay. Dak has regressed a bit. Last year, he threw 8 interceptions. He's already at half of that this year. He's already thrown 4. He's tragic. Also, Des Bryant's decline, and Cole Beasley is literally 1 concussion away from just death at this point. So I think he's tragic. Also, Kansas City's defense is good. It's not going to be a good game.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's tragic. This year, all he's kind of been is a high-end game manager. I know we've been talking about that word, but that's all. It's really what he's been. Kansas City defense is doing decently well against the pass. He doesn't have it this week.
I'm going to go tragic. No Zeke. No production until Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris prove that they can put up production.
So until Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris.
A lot of teams are going to go into nickel packages, and we look at the Chiefs, who have one of the best secondaries with Marcus Peters. They're gonna force Dak Prescott to beat him, and Dak in his second year, there's footage on him.
Yes.
It's going to be hard
People
for him
know how to beat him
now for these 6 weeks, and this may be the demise of the Cowboys for the season.
No. Okay. All right. Moving on. Matt Ryan. I think he's magic. They're playing the Panthers. This is purely because the Panthers, they're my... So 1A is the Crimson Tide for my most hated team.
Oh, and we finally agree on something.
No,
we...
Screw
Alabama.
1B are the Panthers.
What have they done wrong to you?
I just don't like Cam Newton. Like you said, like we were talking about earlier. Like, he gives up. He doesn't care. They lost Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, I wasn't doing much anyways, but I think Newton is really it's gonna hurt him anyways. But this is good for my guy McCaffrey. It is good. He's going to get a lot more looks. However, I think the Falcons, they'll just roll right over them. I think the Panthers, I'll be honest, I don't. I mean, how many games have they won right now? I mean, like 4 or 5.
I think I think they're just below 500.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 6-10.
It's not. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. I think Matt Ryan is magic. He is away. He's not in the Dome. Last week he had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is a divisional game against the Panthers. I think he does, average because he's fallen off so hard from where he was last year.
Well, that's Steve Sarkisian's fault too. I think they got to get rid of Sark.
They do have to get rid of him.
Sark sucks.
I say tragic. Panthers are a confusing team like we've talked about, so maybe this week their defense is good. So tragic?
It's a 50-50.
It's 50-50. It is a coin toss.
It's a pick.
It's a coin toss.
Well, and I mean, you're right about Ryan in the Dome. Like, you guys, like, hey Arnold, Stoop Boy.
Yeah.
Like, Ryan
he loves to be home.
He's like Dome Boy. Dome Boy's afraid to leave the Dome. All right, Josh McCown.
Oh, I love this pick.
I'm going to say Magic. They were supposed to tank, and we had a heated debate about that earlier in the show. But purely, Josh McCown and the Jets exist just to screw with Vegas lines.
Josh McCown's at quarterback when you signed him to tank.
And he's winning games. He's winning games.
So, I mean, I'm thinking he's on my bench. I might even start him. I mean, the Bucks play New Orleans. You never know, but I say he's magic.
He is magic, and I'm saying that with confidence because first of all, he's the 9th best quarterback in fantasy, which is insane. He's a top 10 quarterback in fantasy points scored. The past 2 games, the Jets they've let them slip away. They could have easily won those games. They were within 6 points each. They played the Bills on Thursday night at Buffalo, which is tough. but I still think he does a really good job. He'll probably have 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe a pick or a lost fumble, but I think he will do a fair to decently good job this week.
Are they home or at Buffalo?
They're out.
I'm going to go tragic. This Bills team's legit. They're rallying around each other. They're playing hard. Their defense is good. Their secondary is much improved. Mikel Roby-Coleman's pretty good. I think this is a primetime game where the Jets kind of falter.
They collapsed on primetime.
So-
I thought about that too.
Well, and see, that's why. That's not like, if this game was Sunday at 10 a.m., I'd probably start Josh.
A little
Yeah.
more confident.
Yeah. All right, and finally, Captain Kirk Cousins. Look, like I've said, I don't even know if this team could put together a roster at this point. They don't have any weapons. Terrell Pryor is not the Terrell Pryor they thought he was.
He's been terrible.
Josh Dropson is Dropson.
Dropson.
ET3 again, probably going to be out. And I'll be honest, I hope they do. Like, if I'm the Seahawks, you don't need them. The Lob still has Richardson, Bennett, Sherman, Wagner, Clark, and Shaq. Like, they'll be fine. Kirk is tragic.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's tragic. Again, we've talked about Seattle, I think, a lot today. Even though Legion of Boom isn't what it was, they will totally find a way to cause them some trouble. Plus, that Dallas game was just absolutely terrible. But that just shows how bad Kirk is this year. So he's totally tragic. But what happens after this season?
He goes somewhere else. I mean, you might
Where
have
he goes to
you
die.
might have the Jets. I mean,
Broncos?
What do you think about the Vikings?
I mean, if
That
I
would be
knew,
scary.
if I knew,
That would
I
be
would
terrifying.
take him.
I
'cause
would totally want Kirk.
Snyder's
I would
I
totally
think
want Kirk.
Snyder is a terrible owner. Gruden's not a good coach. If I'm you, I'd want him on the Vikings because Captain Kirk can play pretty well when he's got people to play with.
Yeah.
So I think tragic. You think
Future.
tragic.
Future thing. I'm thinking tragic. This is a tough
3 for
one.
3.
There's a lot of teams this year that are very confusing. They're good one week, not good another week. Redskins are one of those teams,
Ravens are
especially
definitely
in the
one.
NFC East, where it's the Eagles. But after that, who is it? It's up and down. So I'm gonna go tragic this week. But it's who knows what Kirk Cousins is gonna pull out of his. You know what?
Hopefully three interceptions all returned for touchdowns from my defense.
That'd
Alrighty.
be gnarly.
All right, so that was Magic Tragic as always, the cornerstone and staple of this fine little program. Cam, let's hear about the injury report.
All right, let's hit the injury report. It's a small one for this week, guys, which is very, very important. There's only 3 people, 3 main ones, excuse me. First one is Chris Hogan, wide receiver for the Patriots. Shoulder and arm injury. He had an MRI on Monday. It did come back negative. However, his status for Week 9 is to be determined, so we'll let you know about that. A really ugly one is Zach Miller, tight end for the Bears. He underwent urgent surgery to repair artery damage to save his leg. I mean, at one point, this guy was supposed to lose his leg. It was very, very gnarly. Many people think he actually won't play again.
It's gonna be tough.
It is going to be
sure
tough.
Also, and Zach Miller, he was a Seahawk, so he was.
It was a gnarly thing.
It was like in that kind. It really does suck for him because he was actually he called it a streak pass and he outran the entire Cardinals defense for 60 yards.
That's a classic Cardinals move.
for a touchdown.
Such a classic Cardinals move.
So Zach Miller, I love you, buddy. I hope you get better.
And the third one, very personal to me. Thursday night football last week was Joe Flacco. I have an explicit word right there, but Kiko Alonso should have been suspended. I'm sorry. At least 3 games. That was such a dirty hit. And Joe Flacco got a concussion. And there's hope that he's going to play this week against the Titans. I hope to God he does because Ryan Mallett is a loss. So I don't know. It was brutal.
And this goes back to our, they learned under Brady for a couple years. Mallett learned under Brady, and now you don't trust Mallett? How's that any different than Jimmy Garoppolo? Where's your faith?
I don't trust Ryan Mallett.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And the other one he didn't put on, as I said earlier, Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas.
Does have a hamstring injury. He pulled it. He's looking like MRI came back negative.
Always good.
But you know what? It's one of those things. They play the Redskins this week, and then they play the Cardinals next week on Thursday. So
Might as well save him. I mean,
You're
the
just
Cardinals that's useless.
at this point, just rest him.
Yeah.
Because basically he has a solid 3 weeks until they play, I think it's Atlanta Monday night. So you play Thursday and they don't play again until the following Monday. So rest him. He'll be fine. Never, as always, we don't like injuries, but
It's good it's a small week. Only 4 people.
Yeah, only
which
4
is
people.
always good.
Progress.
alrighty. Keeping it rolling right here. Stud versus dud. All right, so recap last week. My stud, Russell Wilson.
No shock.
Dude, I was wrong. Dude went off. I mean, the offensive line, even without Dwayne Brown last week, looked pretty good. They're getting to this thing where, as I assume, they just bootleg him out. which is fine because Russell Wilson's
The
slippery.
easy way to avoid pressure,
It is.
especially when you have a mobile quarterback.
Exactly. I don't know why they didn't did it. They haven't done it before. Darrell Bevel, 4 touchdowns, 450 yards. Those are ultimate game manager numbers.
Ultimate game manager.
I
numbers.
really am sick of the whole thing, dude. He's a top 5 quarterback at this point. Like, there's no other way you can. I mean, okay, look at the season. There's no Rodgers. There's no Matt Ryan. So you got Brady,
Breeze.
Freeze,
Yeah, I put
Carson
Wilson.
Wentz.
I would put Wilson in the top 5.
Carson Wentz.
Wilson.
I put actually,
Matthew
and
Stafford.
I put Alex Smith actually as well as top 5 right now
Okay.
for the year. Speaking of other top 5 quarterback, Carson Wentz, no shock, played the Niners D, didn't do insanely well, right? He had 3 touchdowns and 300 yards, but I mean this guy could have gone for 5. They're 7-1 front runner for the MVP.
That's not insanely good.
It's not insanely good, but yeah, I was expecting more as a fantasy owner against the Niners. The Eagles were legit, and yeah, Carson Wentz is a stud. I mean, he's really good.
All right. Moving on to next week's studs versus duds. My stud is Tyrod Taylor. You know what? This is because they trade with Kelvin Benjamin. It gives him an additional weapon. It's gonna open up more lanes. Tyrod's had a pretty decent year. 125 for 196, 8 touchdowns, 1,343 yards. Not great numbers, but again, you add Kelvin. You give him a deep threat. It allows him to open up a playbook more.
It's the first deep threat I think he's had in his career
No,
at
it
Buffalo,
is.
which is huge.
Who's your stud, Justin?
My stud is going to be Zach Ertz, best tight end in the game right now.
He is tight end 1. He is
Best
tight end 1.
in the
I would
league
agree.
right now. He's put up double digits, I think, in the past five weeks.
Yeah, I
6
think
weeks.
I almost want to say every game.
I
I mean, he's Wentz's go-to guy.
Tight ends are safety blankets, but when you have a safety blanket that can
Go for
run
20.
a 20-yard post and get you open field coverage,
I like
you have
that.
So Zach Ertz is best tight end in the league.
Agreed.
Mark it down.
I like it. My stud's going to be Will Fuller. This guy's had 7 touchdowns in 4 games. He's had 3 2-touchdown games. He had 30 points against Seattle. Oops. And if he had 30 against Seattle, my thing is what is he going to do against the Colts defense?
I'll be honest. The
He's a
whole
stud.
Seattle thing, like, they looked bad, but they were caught off guard.
Caught off guard?
I don't think they expected it. They
It's
underestimated.
Watson.
Okay, but he's a rookie
All
quarterback.
right, and so in the playoffs, when they lose, caught off guard. That's going to be the excuse.
At least we're gonna make the playoffs this year.
Ravens will make the playoffs.
You want to bet that right now?
Yeah,
on
dude,
everyone?
that
You wanna bet
is
that
not
right
happening
now?
at all.
No, I do not. I do not want to. I do not want to bet that.
That's what I thought.
But
You still owe me.
We'll-
You still owe me too.
we'll find a way. I hope.
I do watch. All right, moving on to my duds. Yes, my dud is Alfred Morris. Kate Jarrett came out and said he's the number 1 quarter. He's the number 1 now that. No, he's
Suspended?
not suspended again.
Not suspended. Okay.
Or is he? Is
No,
he?
he's suspended.
Is he suspended?
Yeah, he's
Okay,
suspended.
okay.
Okay, cool, cool. So he's back to the number 1. This is kind of a personal thing for me. I picked him up a few years in fantasy. He just sucks.
So
Like-
personal vendetta.
Personal
That
vendetta.
team is not that good this year. Alfred Morris is getting older. Don't start. I mean, start him if you can, because obviously he's gonna get the ball.
It's
but-
only a matter of time before he loses the job to McFadden. That's
Yeah,
literally,
no,
that's literally all
you're
I'm
right.
waiting for. So I completely agree.
All right.
My dud is going to be AJ Green.
Hey,
Ah,
hey, hey. It's my
Face-
fantasy team we're talking about.
Facing the Jaguars.
Saxonville.
Jaguars, arguably one of the top 3 secondaries, if not the best.
I think they have the
secondary
best secondary.
in the entire NFL.
And coming off a bye. Oh my
He's
god.
likely going to go against Jalen Ramsey. If not, he's going to go against Bouye.
Not good.
It's going to be a long day for
Not
not
good.
only him, but Bengals receivers. And this is a good sign for another week of trashing Andy Dalton. So that's all.
God,
I
That's all we
hate
can
Andy
hope.
Dalton.
I love to trash him.
That's
The
all
Bengals
we
were
can hope
trashed.
for.
Fire Marvin Lewis. Actually, don't
If you want
because
to trash Andy Dalton, just put him up against the Jaguars.
continuing on that Bengals bandwagon, there is Tyler Croft. He's taken over Tyler Eifert's position at tight end, but as I have here against Saxonville, there is no chance of survival.
If they're gonna be,
They're going to be eaten alive.
That's gonna be. I mean, the Jags are still the Jags at heart.
And
Their defense
somehow the
is really
Jags may still lose that game.
No,
You're probably
no,
right.
That's exactly it. They'll still lose. Alrighty, that is all for segment 2. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about our little head-to-head competition. We'll get to our fantasy picks of the week, and Compton will bless us like the Pope, as always, with his pick of the week. Stay tuned. Don't miss it. We'll be right back after this.
I am exceptionally bad at this. Is this what being an old man feels like?
Yes!
Oh my god! Yeah! Oh, dude!
segment of this week's episode of Fantasy Failures. Nick Crookshank.
Cam Baxter.
Justin Gillerman.
All right. What's your fantasy matchup in our little...
My fantasy matchup is going to be Kyle versus Nick Vieira. This is the battle of two awful teams because of bye weeks. Jared McKinnon, Stephon Diggs, Latavius Murray, Brandon Cooks, Hunter Henry, all on bye.
Oof,
So that
God.
is between both teams. That's huge. Of course, I have here Nick Vieira has Deshaun Watson against Indianapolis. So my thing is Kyle has to try and find a way to figure out how to counterbalance that and win this game. It's going to be interesting to
It's
watch.
going to be a big win for Kyle if he can pull this
It would
off.
be a
It would
huge
be
win.
a huge win. I mean, it's still... Like, at this point, if you're Kyle, you're just avoiding
You're
the top
trying.
two.
You're trying to really mess up everyone else's season
Yeah.
at this point.
Yep.
I'm going to go with me versus Cam. Lost 2 in a row. I need a freaking win.
You need to write this... You didn't write freaking down here.
I
didn't?
need to win. I didn't pick
I
this
need to win.
selfishly because I need to win.
No,
I need to win.
I get it.
Carson Wentz, baby.
So that's who I'm
That'll be a good one. That's a good matchup between you and I.
All right.
I like that.
Moving on, my fantasy player of the week is Russell Wilson because screw all of you. Dude, they're playing a depleted Redskins team who at this point, like I said, don't even
Do
think...
they have a team?
Do they even can they even put 53 guys on a bench at this point? They have 11 injuries on their entire team. Wilson has found a groove. He's literally going to drag that team through the playoffs this year. Like, that's what it is.
I like it. Mine's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. I'm hyped on the Texans. He had a monster week last week.
He really did.
He had 40 points, including a gigantic 72-yard run that almost won the game. He's going to feast again. Start him with confidence because he's going back to that top 5 receiver where we all know and love.
My pick of the week, I forgot to put in a pick of the week, so I'm picking the NFL. I think this is the week they stay strong and Ezekiel Elliott gets suspended. That's who I'm picking.
He's not suspended now.
Oh, shit.
Wait. Yeah, he is.
NFL, baby. Pick of the week.
Pick of the week
That's
is
who
the
I'm gonna
NFL.
All right, we have to get to our pick 'em, so
Oh, yeah, we're
go
gonna
do
have to
whatever
ask
it is
you
you
to
do with
leave.
your free time.
Yeah.
pick. Okay.
Yeah. Sail Vikings, sail. Get out of here.
I can't go that far, guys.
Alrighty.
All right.
So, you're still ahead. You're
I am
18,
indeed.
18 and 22. I'm 16 and 24. Not bad.
We're still having losing records.
I'll start. I'm picking you over Justin Gillerman just for the memes.
Oh, God.
I'm just here. I'm like Schoolboy Q. I'm just here for the memes.
Just hear the memes.
I'm just here for the memes. Like, I think it'd be funny if he drops and I win, then I become number one.
You would be number one.
Okay.
So there you go. It's on tape right there. I have Justin over me. I've never taken myself again ever. So Justin, he finds a way. Plus, Gurley's coming back off bye, which is no good.
All right. I'll pick Armando over David. David has Brady, Jordan Howard, and Brown on a bye this week. Not like sometimes if just Brown was out, you can counterbalance that.
Correct.
This you're screwed.
It's not good.
Like you're
Quarterback, RB1, and wide receiver 1 on bye.
Yeah,
Not
like
good.
that's essentially a third of your team.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Armando.
I completely agree. I got Armando. Even though Ezekiel Elliott may or may not be suspended, allegedly suspended. I think Armando's got it though by far.
Agreed. Chaz over Fredo. Alfredo's still not bought on his team.
Okay.
I think Wilson, he's going back to that 2014 offense where he's able to get out of a pocket. I think Dwayne Brown is going to...
It's a huge addition.
Like, it's not going to help their passing game a lot, but their run game is going to help the run game, which
Right.
it affects the passing game. So I got to say Chaz.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Alfredo's gonna win this week. I think Julio Jones is gonna have a bounce back week. Also, I think that the Cowboys, they had a rather abysmal week against the Redskins. At least their passing game did. Dak Prescott put up 8 points. He won't do that again. I think he'll get at least 20. So I think Alfredo will find a way to win this game.
Alrighty. I'm picking Jeff over me. Like,
Just because you don't want to pick
you
yourself.
never pick your... Jay Gills, you ever pick yourself?
Yes.
Wrong. Fake news. I pick Jeff. I don't pick myself. You know what? Anything can happen. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. I love that quote. Well, I do have you over Jeff. I think with Bell being out, that just doesn't help Jeff's cause at all. If Bell was in, I'd say, oh, maybe there's like a decent chance. But I think you got it. And I also think that Shady's going to have another phenomenal game, 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe 2.
Alrighty, and finally, I will pick Nick Vieira over Kyle Storms. However, this matchup is the equivalent of a Thursday night game between the 49ers and the Cardinals. This is just a boring, terrible fantasy matchup that would be flexed out if it was all on national television. But because we have to, I'll pick Vieira.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Kyle's going to win. Just to like screw up the league balance. I think it's really funny. So hopefully Kyle can do it, but he probably won't.
All right, Gillerman, what do you think? Get over here.
Let's
I
get the
just got off
tiebreaker.
the phone with the NFL. Zeke is not suspended. Never mind. Suspended again.
Alrighty then. Well,
But yeah, Nick Vieira or Kyle, just out of
I
curiosity.
want Kyle to win. I'm picking Kyle.
Okay.
do you want
There
Kyle to
go.
win for seeding purposes?
Probably.
Well, yeah.
I do need Nick Vieira to lose.
Alrighty. Well, now let's go to the office of David Compton, where we can hear more about probably Eli Manning.
Dude, you guys, he's playing the Lambs. It's Eli. Just pick him up. God.
We were right. It's Eli. Yay. That is all the time we have for today. Please follow along on Twitter at UmbaFF. We might tweet, we might not. Depends what's going on Sundays and how drunk Cam gets the night before, or if he continues drinking through Sunday
X
morning.
Factor.
Yeah, it's the X Factor.
It's not wrong.
As always, I'm your host, Nick Cruikshank.
I'm Cam Backstrom.
I'm Justin Gilliman. Look for an update of Zeke suspension. Probably he's suspended.
Yeah, we'll
There you
tweet
go.
it out. All right, thank you. We'll see you next week. And may your fantasy team never be a failure.